Hey guys, welcome back to the channel.
Hey guys.
So today we're obviously going to be talking about Porsha dating her co-star's ex-husband. Well, I guess technically they're still married, right, Nicole? So we're going to get
We
into that.
don't
We're going to talk about friends dating their exes or dating guys to date. So go ahead and grab your glass.
Cheers.
You're listening to Tash and Nix.
All right, Nicole. So I seen the thing earlier about Porsha and Falynn. We don't really watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. We hear about it all the
Yeah.
time. We watch the clips and stuff like that. But this seems like a messy situation, right?
I mean, firstly, I don't know if her name is Falynn or Fallon. I really don't know. Um, it is a mess. I remember because I follow Porsha, as I used to watch TV a lot, like years ago, but I really haven't kept up with the Housewives. But I follow Porsha, and so I thought it was weird because she had posted a picture of herself and this gentleman. And I was like, oh, okay. And then there was like a long explanation underneath it. And I was just like, okay, whatever, not thinking too much of it, right? And it wasn't until the shade room started blowing up with a bunch of like different things. And I was like, oh shoot. So I
Right.
kind of was like going back and forth and looking at Portia's page, looking at that girl Fallon, and then just looking at little clips. And I was like, yeah, this is a mess. Like,
Yeah. So apparently, Falynn and Simon they filed for divorce in January, and yesterday Porsha announced that she was dating Simon, but then like literally 24 hours later, they announced that they're engaged. So it's like after a month of dating, sis. It seems like they've been like seeing each other way longer than that, and maybe they just didn't want to own up to that. What do you think?
um, I believe them. I believe that they were, because from my understanding of the situation, they had already filed for divorce like in January because they were saying something along the lines like in February that he had posted a something and for Valentine's Day saying he was going to try to fight for love or whatever. And then I'm not really sure how long the season shoots for, but I would assume they didn't really know each other for that long because I know that Portia said that her baby father, Dennis, and that gentleman that they knew each other. But Portia didn't really know Fallon that much prior to her being on the show. I think Portia was her way into the show.
Yeah. From what I've seen, it seems like, yeah, maybe they didn't know each other before the show, but they got real friendly once the show started. Like Portia was at her house, hanging out
Yeah.
at the pool, and then there's a picture of them, like it looks like they're out somewhere and they look, like girlfriends. But it's reality TV, so you really never know with that, like if they're truly friends or not. But it's a bad look overall for her.
I mean, it is. It's weird, and for her to have to explain it is also kind of weird because you know how it's going to be perceived. It's like, yo, I mean, it does look like at least you guys were acquaintances or something, and
Mhm.
it is soon. Like I said, in my opinion, yeah, everything, to each their own. But like to be so quick with an engagement, if you said you met a month ago and you guys fell in love now, I don't not believe in love at first sight, but I do believe that people who tend to move in that sort of like way maybe need therapy. Like because sometimes we get caught up, you know how we are as women. We're like, oh my God, the love of my life and all this other stuff. But how well do you really know somebody in a month? Like,
I believe in like attraction or like lust or strong like at first sight, but definitely not love, and definitely not to be engaged to somebody like only a month in the relationship seems weird. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, and I don't know about you, but apparently he's not even like his divorce isn't final. So how the hell are you getting engaged to a married man? Like, doesn't
Well,
make
see,
any
that's
sense.
the thing. I heard something different. I even heard from her that their divorce, that Fallon person said that their divorce was already finalized. I honestly feel like she just posted that thing that you sent me today just to kind of feed into like the fire of whatever's going on. But they both said we have already moved. They literally both put out posts before this happened saying we've already moved on amicably. We wish each other nothing but the best. So which one is it? Are you guys actually divorced or not? Like Porsha's statement said that they had already been divorced, you know? So it's kind of like, I don't know, like is somebody lying here? If someone's lying, I'm taking this at man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Because Falynn said that she's can't wait for the divorce to be final, which led me to believe that's not final yet. So that seemed kind of weird.
I know when people say finalizing their, well, yeah, that is weird. That is weird. Like I know, like in the beginning, after my divorce was done for, I was kind of like still dealing with stuff from my divorce, but I was not like I'm finalizing it. I was only finalizing it when I was still in the divorce. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that is weird. I don't know who's telling the truth or not, but overall, it looks foul as fuck. Like, you know. Yeah.
I get like dating while you're separated, but like because some people's divorces can go on for like a year or two. So of course you're gonna date during that time. Like if you're going back and forth, you're not gonna like stop your whole life just because the other person doesn't want to sign some paperwork or something like that.
Correct.
But I still wouldn't get re-engaged to somebody until that's like out of the way. Like for good. Gotta be finalized.
I realized when I was trying to do that, like date during that time frame, because my ex really wouldn't sign the paper. I remember running into people who were like, yeah, I want to just make sure it's all complete because, you know, they didn't want to start anything if it wasn't finished. And they were right, you know, that it's true because and you know this, I've dealt with somebody in a similar situation, come to find out the whole time they decided to stay with their wife, you know?
Yeah.
So that's true. You should definitely make sure everything is like done before you officially move on, especially if they're not divorced and yet he's engaged to Porsha. That should be a red flag to Porsha. Like, you know what I mean?
So I'm gonna play you a clip of an old interview of Falynn talking about how she first got on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then see what you think. Okay?
Yeah.
As a friend of Porsha's. So, what was y'all history?
Oh, you know what? It was more so through Dennis and Simon.
Okay.
They knew each other. They're in the same industry. You know, we own a nightclub called Republic, and Dennis was in that industry, and Simon was also in the restaurant industry. So they just would collide every here and there. And at some point in time, Porsha and I got to meet. And she was really sweet. She's always been very real and genuine. So we clicked.
You first came on to the show.
So I thought that was kind of like funny, but not funny because she was like, Portia's so real and genuine. I'm like, that did not age well, sis.
Well, again, I will say this. A lot of times your way into those shows are the people that you know. So sometimes you get introduced to like even the Love and Hip Hops and all that stuff. And the people are like, oh yeah, we're friends. You're like, yeah, we're not really actually friends. We're more so acquaintances. But either way it goes, they clearly knew each other. They clearly were in some of the same circles. I'm assuming they met a few times prior to filming. You know what I'm saying? It's just like overall, yeah, it just seems like there was some sort of relationship, even if they weren't friends, that happened there. And you can't deny it. Like I read Porsha's thing and she was like, we were not friends. And I'm just like, you know, you kind of brought her onto the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think?
It just looks messy as hell. Like, even if they weren't legit friends, like they seemed like they were acquaintances on some level, like they were hanging out together and stuff like that. Yeah. Like there's pictures out there of you guys looking like you were, you know, buddy in the club and stuff like that. So it's just a bad look overall. Do you think her and this guy will last? Porsha?
No.
Yeah.
I know. He's like 70. You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I'm rooting for Porsha in general just because of the marriage she first went through. And then, the guy she was dating after that, embarrassing her. You know what I'm saying? I was rooting for her. But I'm like, this guy just seems like, I mean, I don't know. I do know someone who's married a guy that was way older than her and more financially stable, etc. And at first I was like, hell no. But I mean, they convinced me and they got married and everything. So, to each his own, but there are some things in that marriage, but to each his own. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like she could definitely do better. And maybe not somebody's man's. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, it's just like there's so many damn fish in the sea. Like you just had to choose that person. And it kind of makes me wonder if they're doing it on purpose for like a storyline.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, what if this is all just a joke, or not even a joke, just for a storyline for more to like, I'm not sure how often they film again, but like, what if the next season everyone's going to be tuned in?
Right.
That.
Shit, I've never watched it before and I want to watch it now. Like, just to see how this unfolds. So I'm like, is this all part of the plan? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just, now Porsha has all this egg on her face from this situation, and it's just like, girl, it doesn't look good,
It doesn't look good at all.
Uh-uh.
So, like, speaking of like when friends or acquaintances, in their case, her dating her acquaintance's ex-husband, have you ever thought about or had like a friend's ex try to hit on you or try to date you?
No, not an ex. I've definitely had situations where I felt like while they were in their relationship that the person was hitting on me, and I don't know, I'm disgusted by people who have like messed with my friend or whatever, and they want to talk to me. I don't know why, it just like it turns me off completely. And a lot of times me and my friends do not have the same taste. So it's like I can't believe you would even try it. But I definitely had a situation or two where the person was flirting with me and I did not feel comfortable. And I told them. And then there was another time I was in Dallas on like a party bus and I went with a friend and those people were all her friends. So I didn't know anybody but her. And like the guy kept staring at me throughout the night. And I was just like, okay. We got on the party bus and he happened to sit right across from me. And I'm telling you, just kept staring at me. He was like, look at the motherfucker. I was like, oh.
Wait, what did he say?
Look at them motherfucking thighs. I was like, does anybody else hear this? Like, what? And so I tried to tell her on the party bus, like, hey, he's like hitting on me. And she was like, shh, don't say anything. And I was like, okay. Like, because it was her best friend's sister. And it was her man, and he's like, they always got issues and problems, don't say nothing. And I was like, so I got to be uncomfortable the rest of the night? Like, what? And I mean, it got worse. And like, he just went, at one point, we were on the VIP section. I was sitting down. He came over to the VIP section and sat next to me. He's like, you're so fine. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, I'm sorry, but like, isn't that your girlfriend? He's like, man, yeah, I do got a girl, but I was like, can you please stop talking to me? Like, I was just so irritated because I felt like, you know what I'm saying? So in those instances, I have always been like, I'm not interested, and I make it very clear, and I definitely tell my friends.
Right.
What about you?
So I had a situation one time. I was out for a friend's birthday, and some of her boyfriend's brothers were there. And one of them, he was like married to another girl that was there. And he was trying to like flirt with me hard, like in front of her face. And he even tried to like leave with me when I went home. Like she was drunk and just like roaming around the hotel after we left the club. And he wasn't even worried about her. He was trying to like jump in an Uber with me. It was so weird. And definitely shut it down immediately. Like one, even if he wasn't married, I wouldn't be interested in him. And he was just a clown. And I told like my friend about the next day. I was like, I don't know his wife like that, so I don't know if you want to tell her or not, but this is what happened.
Did she tell her?
She didn't tell her because she's the type of person, I guess, like he does that all the time, and she won't do anything about him. She'll get mad at the girl who
Oh,
like didn't force him to do that, and he's done that to several of like their friends and stuff like that. So he has like a
well,
pattern of like trying to leave you for other bitches. But
I
you're
hope that she gets ready for those outside children that he's gonna have because in their
yeah.
marriage. Because what? No. I mean, okay. Tell me what your opinion is on this. I think there's levels to everything. So,
Mhm.
like, okay, recently you and I have had a person hit on both of us. Well, in general, he tried to talk to me like a few years ago. Long story short, found out he was engaged, just trifling as hell. Last year he reached back out to me on one of those messaging apps, begging me for another chance. I was like, you were literally trying to date me while you were engaged. Like,
Yeah.
what? And so I told him I'm good. He even went as far as to find my Gmail and like write me an email because back then I was still kind of like leery to give out my number. So I gave out my Gmail, like, don't ask.
That's
And
hilarious.
I know. So I guess he found it. He like wrote me an email. And so I finally just told him, I was like, hey, listen, this was before I started dating my current boyfriend. And then it was during the time I was dating him. And I finally was just like, hey, listen, I have a boyfriend now. So, there's just literally no chance. And so I thought he was good until I noticed that he had liked my photos yesterday on Instagram. And I'm like, how did he even find my Instagram account? It's so weird. So when I
Yeah.
sent it to you, you sent me his screenshots of him in your messaging. And I'm just like, this is so funny to me because, first of all, clearly he knows that we're friends,
I mean, that's how he found me because how would he find me otherwise? He's seen me like
Correct. And like, secondly, why is he even doing this? But I honestly don't care. I was just like, I'm not gonna reach out and be like, why are you writing my friend? I don't give a fuck. Like,
right.
he's trash, but in general. But I felt like he was also doing it to get a reaction out of me because we clearly communicate with each other. You're clearly going to tell me this. You would
Yeah.
have no reason to tell me in general. Like, say if you guys are hitting it off, right? And then eventually I told, and like maybe like, hey Nicole, this guy's really cute. I think he's cool, whatever. I'm like, oh my god, bitch. And then we would have
Yeah.
figured it out. But I just think, depending on the circumstance, because it could be someone that you talked to for just like a second, didn't work out, and you kept it moving, and your friend and that person might vibe. Do you think that's wrong?
For me, like with the situation with this guy, if I would have been vibing with him and he seemed cool, but then you would have been like, oh, he used to talk to me. No. For me, it's just weird. Like I just there's so many fish in the sea that I would be fine with just letting him go. Like, yeah, like nah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, like if y'all had any type of like talking history where you were talking like on more than a friend level, for me, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
If say like I like Michael B. Jordan, like if you met him and he liked you, and I've never had anything with him, I just liked him. I just thought he was like really like handsome from afar, but I never had a relationship with him. He's never talked to me. I think you would be an absolute idiot to not, no offense to Q, but I think you'd be an idiot to not take that. Like, I'd be like, I don't condone cheating, but you might want to, you want to dabble in that a little bit, see what it's
No,
about.
I wouldn't take the opportunity. I just feel like, my heart is pretty set where it's at. But I think in general,
We're talking about a situation that would never happen to either one of us.
you
So it's
never
like,
know. But have you ever had a friend talk to a guy that you were interested in behind your back,
no,
to your knowledge?
not to my knowledge. I remember one time when I was in Austin, I was talking to a guy, and my friend told me he was in her inbox, and I've been talking to her about him, so she already knew.
Oh,
And she told him, like, she's my friend, obviously. Like, we have pictures together on Instagram and shit. And he was like, yeah, but me and her have never had sex, as if that matters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and she was like, okay, bye.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah. So she passed the friend test because if she would have went further with that, then I would have cut her off. I'm like, I know what type of bitch you are at this point.
Yeah.
But no, she like cut it off immediately.
So even if there was, because I feel like this, I've definitely had that happen before, where I liked a guy and literally the girl who I thought was my friend would go and talk to those guys. Like she wouldn't talk to them. She would sleep with them. And I would just be like, what the hell? Because, I don't move that fast, especially when I was in college. I literally did not. And I've had this happen twice, like two different girls, two different colleges. And literally, like one guy I had the biggest crush on. I used to go to these like church groups and stuff. And I just be sitting there like, you know, thinking about sinning with him. And yeah, I told her, I was like, oh my God, he's just so cute. I have the biggest crush on him. And she wanted to go to the church group with us. And this Jezebel, okay, came and literally was like, I got a date with him tomorrow. I'm like, what? Yeah, I remember thinking like, why would he even go
Yeah.
out with her? Like, I was so mad, but I never made my intentions clear. Well, I wasn't allowed. Like, it wouldn't happen. His family was super religious, and I was super shy. So I was probably like 19 at the time or something like that. And I mean, I've known them before when I was a teenager. I would go to their
Mhm.
house and stuff a lot. But like, yeah, I remember being like, why would she do that? And she's done it. She did it a couple of times. And
Yeah.
with guys that I had like a crush on or guys who liked me. One guy who actually like kissed me before, she ended up like making out with him. And I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah.
I think there's like levels to it because I feel like if it's a really good friend and she likes him, even if he was like liking me, I just wouldn't do it. I would just value the friendship more than this one guy when I could find somebody else. If I know she really likes him, if you're an acquaintance and I say hi to you in passing and you really like this guy, but he don't even like you, I don't think there's nothing wrong if I like him and he likes me and we start dating. Like I say hi to you in passing, you're an acquaintance. I don't know you like that.
I feel like I've heard stories where people that might have happened where the person was possibly interested in somebody else and that ended up not working out. And in the future, down the line, someone, maybe a friend of yours, meets that person. They don't know about your history. And then that person vibes with that person. And then you find out, like, oh shit, like I know that, you know what I'm saying, that person. I feel like the best thing to do in those situations, if you feel like there's something sneaky going around, maybe you should have an open dialogue with that friend and let them know, like, hey, I'm interested in this person, and go from there. Because I feel like it's only right. Now, yeah, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody, but yeah, I do feel like you should at least put it out there so that your friend or whomever, maybe an acquaintance, doesn't find out, through the grapevine, and now you look like you're sneaky. I mean, they may have a genuine like bond and be meant for each other. So I try to be open to that. But like if your ex-boyfriend hit on me, Tasha, it's a no for me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hell.
We're like legit friends. We're not acquaintances. It's not like we just say hi to each other in passing and we don't like know each other like that. So that's why I say it's like levels to it for
Yeah.
me. Like if it's a genuine friend, I don't even think it's worth the risk of dating him and losing the genuine friend. Not for me.
No.
If it's
Because
a
all else fails, they may not be there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like at the end of the
odds
day,
odds are they won't be, especially like if you're really young and like choosing to date this guy even though your friend like really liked him. The thing is, it's like with acquaintances, a lot of girls are like they'll like some guy, think he's cute, and think they can just claim him.
yeah.
Like he don't even like you.
No,
So,
it's not fair. And then they get
right.
married to you, and you're like, that's not fair. Like, like, how was I supposed to know? I've had that happen to me before, actually, because I have a lot of sisters. And unfortunately, that happens a lot more than you would think.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've had like my younger sister's like friends like want to hit on me, and I'm like, tell your friend to get out of my inbox, you know. But come to find out, they were hitting on her too. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that is super weird. Like,
let me tell you something hilarious. When I was in college, I had two friends, and we were like really close. Our freshman year at HT,
okay,
and one of them really liked this guy. She liked a couple people. Like she liked a lot of people, and she was one of those like she was claiming them or like marking them off limits type of person.
yeah,
And our other friend, she was just really goofy, and she would just do like a lot of like funny stuff. So we went on like this trip to some like random camp. HT had some weird shit they would take you on, but it was a good time.
yeah.
So we went to this camp with these other students, and while we're there, we're like on like this hayride.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend, the one that really didn't even like the guy that she liked like that, like she was on the hayride, like cuddling with him, putting her head on his shoulder.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, but this shit was so hilarious because she was so pissed off. She didn't talk to her the whole like weekend. And the guy wasn't paying her attention the whole weekend. Like he didn't want her, like he didn't like her like at all. You know what I mean? And a lot of times he was trying to like hit on me. I don't know if like he like really liked me like that or what, but I wasn't like into him like that anyways.
Yeah.
But our friend was just goofy, and she was really like playing with her and kind of like taunting her with it, like by laying on him and stuff like that. And she'd be like, "Oh," like laying her head on his shoulder, and she was like visibly pissed. But it was so funny. Like all I could do was laugh at the situation. It was hilarious, but she was really mad.
It's fucked up. But the truth is like, yeah, that happened to me too. The guy I really liked, she ends up like sitting on his lap. And I was like, what the fuck? I was mad, and a lot of the friend group, everybody in my friend group was also mad at her because they actually were trying to hook me up with him, you know, because they knew like I really was so very picky when I went to that school, like just because you had to be. And so they were mad at her too, like, why would she do that? I'm like, she was weird though, like she was kind of a hater friend, you know, like anything I wanted to do, she's like, that's a dumb idea. And then she would do it. And I'm like, but I thought it was dumb.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, she was one of those girls. I don't think her life's going too well, but whatever.
Yeah, it was messed up, but I cannot lie, it was hilarious. Like, oh my god, because you could tell she was just doing it on purpose. She was really just like effing with her and joking around, but
Yeah.
yeah, she didn't take it as a joke at
How
all.
is she doing now in life?
Not well. Wait, which one?
The one who was playing around, like toying with the guy, knowing that, you know.
Oh, she's doing good. The other one is not great. But, you know.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Are they both single?
I don't know. One has like 3 kids, 2 baby dads. I think she's single according to Facebook. I'm seeing with nobody. The other one, yeah, she's single. I remember when we were in college, she had like a long-term boyfriend that she was with from high school, but they'd end up breaking up, and he's like married to somebody else now. Yeah, they're together for a long time.
Wow.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I just know, like, for me, that shit's off limits. Remember that guy? We were at that club. We were somewhere. I think it was London's party or something, and we were leaving together. And this guy was like trying to holler at you. Then he said something like, "But you know, I might talk to her." And I'm like, "No, wait, we're friends." Like, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. She's like, you were like, no, like, I'm like, that would never happen. Like, what? It was so weird. Like,
and it's like the real gag is neither one of us were interested in this man
at all. Like, you look like someone's great uncle. Like,
sir, you don't understand. You're not getting either one. Like, like please go try your luck with somebody else.
It was just weird. Like, no.
Yeah.
I would never. I couldn't see myself doing it. Like I said, I'm just more of a person like I try to be understanding in every situation, but if you talk to my ex, or if you talk to someone that I was like really seriously talking to, we're probably gonna have some beef. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, don't think our friendship is gonna be the same. It's
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. I feel like most of my friends don't even like date my type of dude anyways. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like probably anybody you've had like the most dudes I thought were like attractive, but like most of my other friends, I'm just like, oh, is that him? Oh, as long as you're happy.
That's true though. I feel like this. I get what you mean, because like you showed me some guys. I'm like, oh my god, cute. I'm like, Tash, he is super handsome, or he's so cute. It's just maybe not like my type, but I see, like oh yeah, he's super cute,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it's the same thing. Like I don't have the same attraction like you would. I would never think of my friend's man in a sexual way ever. Like
Ever.
it's just not in me. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever like dated two guys in the same friend group? Like not slept with, but like maybe went on one date with one and then you kind of vibe with the other?
So
It's okay, I did too. Go ahead and tell your story.
no. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't know if that's trifling of me. I think in one instance it is a little bit trifling. I was younger at the time, and I dated this one guy, and we didn't really like. I never made it official with him. I kind of was just like stringing him along. It wasn't cool. Whatever. But
Right.
we still remained friends and stuff. I actually realized, and I apologized to him afterwards, years later after my divorce.
You
And I'm like,
apologized?
what'd you say?
You apologized?
I did. I know, right?
Where in time was this? We need time
This was
stamp.
back in 2000. This was like college days.
You
Yeah.
must have really felt sorry because I feel like it takes a lot for you to apologize.
Yeah. I definitely, especially then, girl, up until probably 2019, 2020, I didn't really give a fuck. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm like, I'm not sorry. So, I have had to grow a lot. But no, back then I realized that, damn, that was mean of me. I'm gonna apologize because I really hurt this guy's feelings. So I did. Um, but yeah, so like going forward in the future, I did start talking after like my divorce or whatever. I did start talking to this guy, and we talked about it. I was like, how would he feel if he found out that you and I were like talking and stuff? And he's like, he'd probably be mad. I'm like, yeah, he would. I mean, the guy was married at this point. He had, like I hadn't had contact with him since, a decade plus more. He hadn't really talked to him in a long time either. I was like, no, I think he would be upset, and rightfully so, because in college they were like best friends.
Yeah.
And he told me in college he's had the biggest crush on me, but he never crossed the line because that was his friend. And I'm like, damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you?
So I had one like mini situation where like, geez, it had to be like 5 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
I went on a date with this guy that I went to college with. All we did was kiss at the end of the date, like regular kiss. I didn't even make out with him or anything like that. So afterwards, he ended up just like randomly ghosting me. It was the weirdest thing, right?
Okay.
So fast forward to like 5, 6 years later, living in Houston, I went out with this other guy I went to college with that happens to be friends with him. So that would be the only situation where like I kind of dated two friends, but it's like
Yeah.
I didn't sleep with either one of them. So like I didn't feel bad about that because I'm like it didn't go anywhere with this guy. So
Were they friends?
were they friends?
Like still currently? Were they still friends? Like they speak?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Do you think either one of them felt a certain type of way? Well, it would probably be the other one. Do you think he would have ever felt a certain type of way? It was
I
just
don't know if they know because it didn't like it's not like I became the other guy's like girlfriend either. So yeah. So if they do know, I don't care. So whatever. But yeah. I don't think they know.
Yeah, I feel like at that point, since they're the friends, and then they're the ones that need to talk that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't got nothing to do with you,
Yeah.
you know.
It's not.
But
If I would have had like an intimate relationship with the other one, I wouldn't have even like dated the other guy. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because
yeah,
that would just be weird. It's like I
yeah,
went on one date with the other guy 5 years ago before I went out with you. Like, so I
yeah.
really didn't think being that serious. But
I think in those instances, if you would have hit it off with the other guy, you know, and it went like really well, I think in that instance, especially if they were still like actual good friends, then he should be like, hey, you know, it's his job to like say that, because I mean, you have no like, what's the word I'm looking for? Obligation to tell the other person. You know what I'm saying? That's on him. And plus, like I said, nothing really happened between you two, so it is what it is.
not at all. Yeah. So I didn't feel bad about it.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. I remember I was talking to my friend. I was like, should I tell him that like 5 years ago I went on a date with his friend? And I'm like, it just sounds so stupid to even bring up because it was so long ago. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if it would have went further, I would have told him because I feel like I would want to know that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to like be having that hanging over my head, you know, if that went further.
You want to move in good energy because you don't want to get that back. You know what I'm saying? When you move with bad intentions, bad karma, bad energy, it doesn't
Yeah.
work out. And that's why I don't think that Porsche situation is going to work out, because I don't know what the intention behind it is, but it looks bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't really win. I've heard countless stories where the person, the best friend, cheated and end up married to the ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, and then they don't work out. Well, look how it came about. You know what I'm saying? So that's your own karma.
I have a friend whose sister dated her best friend's ex-boyfriend and they're married now.
Oh no. Her sister dated her best
Yeah.
friend's ex-boyfriend.
And the best friend was like at the wedding and like she's cool with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's weird to me. Either she's just really like fucking over him and she just didn't really give a shit.
Yeah, and that's possible. I'm
Yeah.
like, as long as they maybe went forward and advised all parties. I know of a situation where a sister married a sister's ex-boyfriend. Okay. When I heard about it, I was like, that is foul as fuck, you know? And then they were like, well, I mean, I guess he only took her on a few dates and they only kissed. I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, and
Mm.
then they literally got married. Like, I think I'm gonna say they got married in 2019. They were divorced by 2020. Yeah.
That's just karma catches up with you eventually.
Yep. That's all. I'm just like, well, there's that karma. Like,
Yeah. That's just
yeah.
weird. Like the fact that you even like kissed like my blood sister, like I don't know how you could like marry somebody after that, but
And she didn't show up to the wedding. At first, they were like, oh no, she's coming to the wedding. They invited me to the wedding. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to go. But I will say that the sister, they were like, oh no, she's going to go. But then she ended up saying like something ended up happening if he wasn't able to make it. I'm not going to that foolishness. Like,
yeah,
you know better than that. We're sisters.
yeah,
That's trifling as fuck.
it really is.
Mm.
Dang. What was that all we have from this today, Nicole?
Yeah, that was a good one. Let us know if you guys have ever been foul as fuck and,
Yeah.
you know, dated someone's ex or talked to somebody's, like, you know, someone they were
Yeah.
interested in or messed with. Let us know what you guys think about that, or if you've ever done it.
Yeah, comment below if you're a trifling ass bitch because
Put hashtag trifling hoe.
all right, guys. Well,
Bye, guys.
bye.